For those of you who are unfamiliar with this use case and are wondering why we're doing and what we're doing and why we've gone to such an extent to create what we have, 60% of swine death around the world comes from respiratory illnesses. And we have proven using our own case study with one of our farms in the US that we have managed to reduce their death rate by about 75% using the solution just by being able to alert them early enough so they can intervene. The next presenter is Vincent Russell. Vincent is an aerosol physicist and one of our machine learning engineers. Now, this next use case that you're going to see is completely different from the animal health use case, but it is built on the same MACSO platform. And this just shows you the power of this platform and how it can extend from one use case to another. Vincent, over to you.
Thank you, Saba. Hello, everyone. My name is, thank you for coming, and thank you to everyone online for coming. My name is Vincent, and I'm a machine learning engineer at MACSO, and I'm going to show you how we integrate artificial intelligence into air quality sensors. So the World Health Organization and the state of global air have both ranked air pollution as the 4th leading risk factor for death globally. Air pollution exposure increases the risk of developing stroke, heart disease, and lung cancer. That the World Health Organization estimates 7 million deaths worldwide. The World Health Organization also estimates 99% of the world's population are breathing air that is above guideline limits. So almost the entire population is breathing unhealthy air. What are these harmful airborne substances that we are breathing, and how can we reduce our exposure to them? There are two main groups of airborne substances, generally speaking. There are gases. These are defined as any individual molecules or atoms dispersed in a medium. For example, nitrogen, oxygen molecules, methane, or volatile organic compounds. And then there are aerosols, or also known as particulate matter. These are defined as any tiny solid or liquid particles suspended in a gas. So, for example, smoke or ash particles, cloud droplets, or mold spores. The image on the left is a 2,000 times magnification of ash particles. This gives us a microscopic view of aerosols. The image in the middle is air pollution from a coking oven. So that's converting coal to coke, a refined fuel. This gives us a macroscopic view of aerosols and gases. And then the image on the right is a satellite image of sand blowing from the Sahara Desert across the ocean. This is giving us a global view of aerosols. And so now that everyone better understands a little bit about airborne substances, how can we prevent, or how can we reduce our exposure to some harmful airborne substances? Well, we can use sensors, and we can integrate artificial intelligence with these sensors. So there are many different types of sensors to detect airborne substances. For example, optical particle counters, which are commonly used to measure aerosols, condensation particle counters used in atmospheric research, electrochemical sensors often used in industrial safety for usually designed to detect specific types of gases, metal oxide semiconductor sensors, low cost found in smart homes, and infrared sensors often used in industrial settings to detect gas leaks. So at MACSO, we partner with sensor companies, and we essentially put artificial intelligence on these sensors. So we make sensors intelligent. So, for example, at Pera Systems, this is one of our partner company based in Toronto, Canada. They develop Canary air quality monitors. So this is one of their devices that has integrated an aerosol sensor to detect particles. So it counts particles in 7 different particle size bins, as well as 2 gas sensors, carbon dioxide and volatile organic compounds, along with temperature, humidity, and air pressure. Our first use case was to detect vape, so applying that to schools and hospitality, other public spaces. In 2019, the Food and Drug Administration in the US found that over 27% of high school students and 10% of middle school students or intermediate school students were vaping. And it's not, some research suggests that vaping, especially for young students, may develop some health or lung issues or other potential issues. So to train our AI model, our vape AI model, we needed to collect some data. So we had some volunteers to vape. And so this is on the left in red is the vape data, and in blue is the deodorant data. The reason we collected deodorant is because we believe students may try to mask vaping with deodorant, and deodorant tends to be quite prominent in maybe school bathrooms as well. So to reduce the false positives of our model. So what we noticed when we collected the data is that vape tends to produce a lot of particles, but not as many gases, and kind of the inverse with deodorant. Deodorant tends to produce very few particles, but a lot of gas. And so we believe that by combining these two different types of sensors, so combining particle sensors with gas sensors, we can create an advanced, essentially a sensor fusion model that understands different aspects of the air. And so now we will show you a demo of the power of sensor fusion, so combining particle sensors with gas sensors. So this is two different models. They're identical models, except the one on the left can only see particles, and the one on the right also sees particles and gas, so it has a volatile organic compound sensor. The model outputs three categories. It may be so if it's more to read, but it outputs vape, deodorant, or background. Right now, both models are outputting background at 99%, so that's what the model is predicting. We expect vape tends to produce a lot of particles, so we expect that both models should perform quite well because particles has a lot of information provided. So we see both models go up to 100% vape. And so in the next example, we will see how deodorant performs. Deodorant tends to output, depending on the size, 10 or 20 times fewer particles. However, deodorant tends to produce a lot of gas. So we would expect that with the deodorant example, that the particle and gas model will detect it. The particle model may not detect it. So this is a commonly used, Links Africa, commonly used a bit for the Americans, it'll be equivalent to X. And so this is deodorant being produced. Right now it's at 100% background. And we see immediately the model on the right is starting to increase in probability that it thinks it's seeing deodorant based on this data. And we see it's going above 90% that the model thinks it's deodorant. However, the particle-only model cannot determine that it's deodorant. It only sees particles, and there's just not enough particles. That doesn't provide enough information. So at MACSO, in the future, we eventually want to incorporate many different types of sensors. So our dream is to create an advanced AI sensor fusion model. Our noses can detect trillions of scents. However, these sensors only have 2 gas sensors. So eventually in the future, with the development of sensors and with our partnerships, we can create advanced AI sensor fusion models. And we've increased automation of air quality systems and improved the energy efficiency of HVAC systems, and we will continue to do so. Thank you very much for listening, and hand it back to Sana.